Hey guys, welcome back to Red Devil TV. Man United 1, Crystal Palace 0. Guys, let's start this off. I mean, first half was absolutely immense. Particularly the first 35-40 minutes. We looked incredible. And there have been games where we've beaten some teams and we've scored a couple of goals. Atalanta, Leeds, Newcastle. We've scored a couple of goals against teams, and it's just crazy to think, like, the one game we have quite a few chances. I don't want to say we had clear chances. I would say in terms of clear chances, we probably had one or two very clear chances, but we didn't have 4, 5, 6 clear chances. We had good half chances in the game, and guys, I think we had 7 corners in the first half, and I was thinking, mate, come on. In a whole game, we usually have about that in a whole game. I think we ended up having about, I don't remember now, probably 11 or 12, but in the first half, we had 7 corners, and I thought every player was immense. I thought Ronaldo, I thought Rashford more so in the first 15. I thought everyone else in 30, 35 minutes throughout the game were absolutely immense. I thought the midfield, Ronaldo, Telles and Dalot, I mean, Jesus Christ, they were absolutely amazing. I thought Dalot, for a long time, of course I watched the Portugal national team, being Portuguese myself, but Dalot, I've seen bits of Dalot where I think he's going to turn into a player. But in this game, he just had so much freedom, and you could see, and this is going to suit him, because going forward, in my opinion, Wan-Bissaka and Luke Shaw are going to have trouble getting into this team, because I know Wan-Bissaka was on the bench, he didn't come on. Luke Shaw, of course, he had the concussion protocol, so it's one of those things where going forward, are they going to be not in the team? I think these are players where they have so much talent. I think especially Wan-Bissaka defensively. I mean, I don't think Dalot really comes very close. I think he definitely can be developed into a player who can defend very well. Luke Shaw, Telles. If I had to be completely honest, I don't necessarily think that Luke Shaw is a way better left back than Telles is. I think he's better defensively. But then again, I think that's where the difference is. Wan-Bissaka and Luke Shaw are better defensively than Telles and Dalot. Is Luke Shaw better going forward than what Telles is? Possibly not. You could argue no. I think Telles has a better ball delivery, better crossing. I think he has a better shot on him as well. I think Dalot as well, same thing. Better crossing, better shot. I mean, come on. There were times especially in the first half, where I saw Dalot putting some crazy balls over the top. Great balls onto Rashford. Also in the Arsenal game as well. I mean, Victor Lindelof, I mean, he was immense. There was one time he put a ball over the top to Rashford. It was an amazing long ball. I mean, it was incredible. And throughout the game, we were constantly playing a very high press, energetic game. But the second half, of course, it dropped off, which is not a surprise. You saw in the last 10 minutes, players get very tired. McTominay, Fred, Ronaldo as well. You could see the passes weren't as accurate and as crisp. I mean, that first half, you could see the passes were quick. You could see Ronaldo and Sancho and all these players linking up very well. And it's funny because we talked about this 4-2-2-2 formation, and we did see it in the game. We saw in the beginning 4-2-3-1, McFred starting. Everyone's like, oh, Jesus, here we go. But you saw a completely different midfield pairing between McTominay and Fred. Now, that doesn't mean I think they'll work going forward. I think Fred definitely has a bit more to him than McTominay. I think McTominay, in that first half, I thought, wow, he looks like a completely different player, but then he dropped off a bit. Then again, everyone was going to drop off in that second half because we expended a lot of energy, big press. And I find it so funny that people like to talk about Ronaldo. Ronaldo pressed pretty much, I want to say, almost the whole game. And we said Ronaldo doesn't need to press like other players press. He doesn't need a Cavani press where Cavani's going to run everywhere, and because at the end of the day, there's also a downfall to that. Injuries, being exposed to let the players run down into the midfield, and then we know how midfield can be sometimes very, very weak defensively. He just needs to use those short bursts, especially in those centre backs. In the opposition centre backs. He needs to expose them. And we saw it. A couple of times a couple of times where he really pressed them, and then they would go for a long ball, and then they would get dispossessed again. A lot of the time, Palace would lose the ball. There was only one time where they almost scored, which was I think it was AU where he had one shot. Was it from a corner? I don't remember now. He had a shot where it almost went in. And I thought, if he would have scored it, it was quite a clear one as well, clear-cut chance. It was quite a sitter, to be honest. And if he would have scored it, we would have been 1-0 down. And it's funny because we've scored goals out of nothing this season. And this game where we had a few, again, not clear-cut, but we had a lot of chances. 7 corners in the first half. We didn't score. And I think the trouble was Palace did defend decently well at times. They got quite a few blocks in. Fred had a chance. Ronaldo had a chance. Rashford had one chance. Bruno did as well, where Ronaldo headed it to Bruno, and that was a phenomenal piece of play there. There were times there where we could have scored, but again, I've never been happy at halftime being 0-0 where we should have scored a couple of goals already, because you saw the press, the energy, again, we'll talk about energy, but we had control. I feel like even though the second half dropped, it was a lot more equal in the second half. I still felt we were kind of in control. There was no point where, even where we dropped off in the second half, we still had control and we were still playing a very high line, and we've played a high line sometimes this season, but not to this extent where even playing a high line, we didn't really get exposed. And I know this is Palace, but they have good players. Zaha was spending the whole game literally diving, he was claiming for fouls which weren't there. He didn't really have us in any sort of trouble at all. Palace kept getting dispossessed. They kept losing the ball. It kind of reminded me us against City. Of course, not to the level of City, but it kind of reminded us being City and Palace being us when we played City. And guys, there's a long way to go here. But man, if we play like this and we develop this constantly every single week, I mean, we're going to turn into a world-class team. And we have these players. Again, can we play like this week in, week out? Are we going to need to keep rotating players? I think, again, they need to be smart. Bruno needs to be smarter about his pressing game. Again, same with Ronaldo. Ronaldo doesn't need to run everywhere. Yesterday, Ronaldo, I felt like almost was pressing and running around too much because, again, he did get tired in the last 10, 15 minutes because every player did. But it's just those short bursts that need to be used more effectively and efficiently. And I think that's we'll begin to see that in games going forward. Players that stood out, I thought Delo was amazing. Telles, I thought every player played very well. If I had to be honest, I think Rashford dropped off a bit. I think Rashford, look, he pressed very well, but then he kind of stopped. Again, decision making, there were a couple of times where Rashford should have passed and he shot. But this is going to get better now. Look, Bruno was good. I thought a lot of players, if I had to say, a lot of players were better than average, but because it dropped off in that second half, there was less consistency. And this is because, we can't keep this up from one training session. Let's be honest. So, I mean, I was quite shocked. This was a lot more than what I expected. I know it's one game. We can't take a lot from it. But I was still quite shocked in terms of how we played because it's only been one training session, But this shows that also the players want to play that way because essentially we're going to score goals that way. And we're going to see as the games go on, we're going to get Ronaldo and Sancho and even Bruno and even some of our midfield playing like this. Look, I was a bit upset that Van Beek came on for so late. Came off for Bruno as well. And again, he was playing a 4-2-2, so clearly he wanted, Sancho and Bruno were playing together in that kind of 10 role. And I was a bit worried that we were kind of going to get exposed down the middle. They'll try and drag us out in the wide areas, and a better team will be able to do that. But I think we have to adapt to switching from a 4-2-2 to a 4-2-3-1 and a 4-3-3. But I think Van der Beek, again, is Rangnick going to see Van der Beek as a player who's a number 10? I would have liked to see him next to Fred. I thought McTominay was good in the first half, but I think Van der Beek, again, what's going to happen to Van der Beek? Is he going to be seen as this player who's a number 10? I would like to see him as a number 8, really. So I don't think the team is going to change that much, to be completely honest. I thought to myself that we're going to see major changes in the next couple of weeks. And we have seen, because Telles and Delo have played. That's already 2 changes in the fullback positions. Long term, I think at least one of those fullbacks will get the position. I think Delo or Telles will get that position. I think more so Delo, because Wan-Bissaka, there's no even a comparison going forward that Wan-Bissaka is close to Delo offensively. He's not. But the one thing is that defensively, Delo, we've seen him against Villarreal in that first leg where he did get exposed defensively. But then again, he hasn't played much. So we need to see. We need a couple of games to see how this works out. Probably Wan-Bissaka and Luke Shaw will come back at some point. And then that's where we'll begin to see who Rangnick wants to play. We were absolutely immense on our fullback position. I think we saw the width from them, even playing that 4-2-2. I did think there was a bit missing in terms of, going with that 4-3-3. We needed a bit of that width from Sancho and Rashford. But then again, we looked so dangerous down the middle where we created a lot of chances and we played very quick football between Bruno, Ronaldo and Sancho and Ronaldo. And the width of Dalot and Telles going forward was immense. I thought Dalot done some amazing passes. Telles had a good few shots as well, good decent corners as well where we could have scored on a different day. So man, I'm really excited. This next game with young boys, I don't know what Rangnick is going to do. I think he's definitely going to make some changes. I liked how Elanga came on. It shows he really wants these players to come on. Greenwood came on. Again, this Ronaldo conversation needs to stop. Like, he's going to play almost every game. You can see there's on another day he would have scored a couple of goals there. So again, as long as we keep playing this type of football, we're going to be scoring a lot of goals. And young boys, what's he going to do? It's either he's going to make a lot of changes to rest some players because that was after 3 days. It was an early kickoff, or he's going to play a semi-strong team again, rest some players, and get him playing how he wants to play. Because essentially, we need to get used to Rangnick's style of football. So he might keep a semi-strong team on. He might still play a Ronaldo. He might still play a Dalot or a McFred. He might still play those players because essentially he wants them to play how he wants to play. And again, are you going to waste another game where we're going to beat young boys? We have to beat them. I know this game doesn't count anymore, but we should still beat them regardless. So it's either he's going to play a very weakened team, which is still a strong team. Elanga, possibly a Bailly, still play a Telles and Dalot. Telles and Dalot could be a start, and they could have their main spot in this team already. For me, they should play because they offer a lot offensively, and that's what's been missing for me. Crosses, the decision making going forward, the amazing passes, the skillfulness of Dalot sometimes in that game was immense. So young boys, that game we'll have to see. We'll have to see what happens, but I think he's still going to play a semi-strong team. I think he might keep the likes of I don't know about Ronaldo and McFred, but I think he might play a Matic, to be fair, and then put a Van der Beek on or something. But he could keep a Ronaldo, he could keep a Rashford, or Sancho, or players who are going to have a major part in this team. So we'll have to wait and see. But guys, I'm buzzing because going forward, this is going to be good. We haven't seen us play like this in so long, So guys, anyway, let me know what you guys thought of the game. Young boys coming up. Let's see how that goes. Please make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys later.